Hola, te doy la bienvenida una vez más al canal de Gil y Clay con la nueva serie del canal de los domingos. No sabía qué jugar, la verdad. Y este juego lo tenía desde hace varios años, que me lo regalaron en Epic Games y tenía ganitas de jugarlo, la verdad. Y a mí me encanta Sherlock Holmes. En memoria a los 100 en el cielo de Ucrania. Me encanta Sherlock, me encantan los misterios. Y bueno, este es el juego perfecto, supongo. Crímenes y Castigos, Sherlock Holmes. No sé si esto tendrá copyright, así que si no escuchas música de fondo es porque hay copyright y he tenido que quitar la copyright. Señora Hudson. Qué bien, qué bien. El fin de Peter el Negro. Puedes acceder a las instrucciones del juego de la interfaz si pulsas F1. El icono del espacio de deducción aparece cada vez que encuentras una pista. El icono del espacio de deducción indica que tienes pistas suficientes para acusar a algún sospechoso. El icono del espacio de deducción aparece cada vez que encuentras una pista. Oh my god, me encanta el papel de pared de Sherlock Holmes. Lo adoro, ese tipo de papel de pared. ¡Ah! ¿Soy Watson? ¿Qué puedo coger? ¿Qué puedo coger? Voy a coger... Oh, vale, me cubro. Me creía que había que tirar cosas.
Holmes, will you stop that?
Me lo voy a pasar pipa.
Utterly mad.
Me cubro de Sherlock.
Stop, Holmes!
Uy.
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet please. I'm trying to concentrate.
Este juego es 2014, por cierto. Paso firme a esposas tintineantes. Policía. Noveno escalón evitado. Inspector Lestrade.
Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Mrs.
Mr. Holmes, how
Hudson.
could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
Yo
I
también.
suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Okay.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
Vaya, vaya.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this
Oh
afternoon.
no.
I shall go alone then.
Ok. Pulsa tabulador para abrir el cuaderno y comprobar tu progreso actual en la investigación. Ok, perfil de la víctima, Peter Carey, también conocido como Peter el Negro, nacido en 1845, 50 años, cosechó mucho éxito en la caza de ballenas en las costas escandinavas. Se retiró en 1884 y acabó estableciéndose en Woodmansley, o sea que estamos en el 1895. Baker Street, que es mi casa. De hecho, yo estuve allí en persona. ¡Ah! ¿Se lo pueden creer? Investigar el asesinato de Peter Carey, investigar la escena del crimen en Woodmansley, seleccionar un traje del armario y unirse al estrado. Ok. ¿Cómo ando? Ah, ok.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
Yo diría, no, se tiene que encargar usted, que lo ha tirado todo.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
A ver, vamos a seleccionar un tocador. ¡Ah! Le puedo... ¿What? Le puedo cambiar. Oh my god. No, le voy a dejar el primero. Gafa. No. Vello facial. Oh no, qué horrible. Odio la barba. No le voy a poner nada. Ok. Me voy a poner un trajecito. A ver qué me pongo. Ojalá tuviera el del DLC, pero bueno. Son muy feos, ¿no? Son súper feos. ¿Me podían batir? Por favor. Venga, va, me gusta este. Me gusta este. Soy un señor. Pero me gustaría ir en batín, la verdad. ¡Ah! Ya, qué chulada de habitación, por favor. He abierto la puerta con la mente. Fíjate si soy
My
genial.
archive. I can always consult with it if needed. This is where I keep my post. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Señora Hudson,
What a mess! What a terrible mess!
me odia. Sí, señora. ¿Este es mi baño o algo? ¿Puerta del dormitorio de Watson? Ok. Me gusta más mi habitación, la verdad. Vámonos. Creo que no hay nada
A
más.
map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful.
Ah, muy bien. Me voy. Woodmansley. Qué guapo voy, ¿no? O sea, con mi trajecito formal, por favor. Esta es la pantalla de carga, ¿no? Mola mucho. Ah, es un poli, ¿no?
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Let's go. Aquí hay un policía. ¡Oh! Puedo correr, me encantan los juegos
Mr.
para correr.
Holmes.
Ah, ok. Me puedo volver para mi casa, qué fuerte. Me encantan los juegos que puedo
It
correr.
seems that the garden was well maintained.
Y me sale aquí. Son pruebas. ¡Qué fuerte! El jardín y los huertos están bien cuidados. Se encarga de él un jardinero competente. No puedo ir por aquí. Sí, sí que puedo ir por aquí. Pero no hay nada. Hola. Nada interesting.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as
No
we
lo
can,
veo.
Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce
Hola.
you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
Ok. Yo haré
My
mis cosas.
condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Sucedió algo inusual aquella noche. ¿Cuándo se encontró el cadáver? ¿Tienen jardinero?
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard
Me
anything
recuerda un montón a
unusual on the night
Vampire,
of the murder?
por cómo habla.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Gritaba mucho cuando estaba borracho. Pero se supone que no estaba borracho. O sea que le pillaron ahí.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
Por la
In the
mañana
morning,
supongo. Sí.
At around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would
God.
not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and, oh dear,
A las 9 ya estaba muerto. Antes de las 9. Antes de por la mañana.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
it is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Ok.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Qué fuerte. Su madre recibía visitas.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Una casa súper bonita. Ok. ¿Qué puedo ver en ella? Cama feo. Rosario católico. Un diario. Los guantes. Retrato del personaje completado.
Thank you, madam.
Tablador. Judith Carey es una mujer que ha llevado la vida intranquila por culpa de su infeliz matrimonio, perdón. También es muy religiosa, una mujer católica que cuando era joven peregrinó a la manera de San Jaime. Mira, aquí la tenemos. Hola, señor agente.
Mr. Holmes?
¿Me puedo ver?
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
¿Y este? ¿Qué hace? Ah, ok, te estoy pisando la prueba, sorry.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the
Ah, ya
evidence.
pasa un día ahí.
Ah, good thinking.
Oh, con razón decía la mujer.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Extraordinario.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Mr. Holmes?
A ver, let's see. Centra tu atención en encontrar los detalles que otros suelen pasar por alto.
These
Arañazo.
scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Vaya,
A
vaya.
mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Lo abramos. ¿Dónde estaba? Oh.
What a terrible way to die.
Dumbest way to die. So many dumb ways to die.
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Vale, le damos a la T. Espacio sospechosamente vacío. Silueta en el polvo.
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf.
Es
An
cierto.
object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small
Un
chest.
cofre, una
perhaps.
caja. De hecho, a lo mejor también unos libros. Tiene el mismo tamaño.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Ah, muy bien. Arcón de madera. Abrí con la mente.
Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8.
Vale. Tiene de pie un 8. Y si le doy a la T, muñeco. ¿Nada? No, eso porque no hay nada interesante. Esto ya lo hemos visto.
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Pues nada. Veamos al amiguito. Oh my god.
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense.
Oh my god.
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
Somos balleneros. Cantamos
This man is in his
canciones.
50s, yet he still looks quite strong. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong.
Aquí, como un cerdito, mira. Cuchillango. Rota el objeto en cualquier dirección para examinarlo detalladamente.
This wooden handle is plain and solid. This wooden handle is plain and solid.
Sí, sí, sí. Mira, el filo está como
This
roto,
blood
¿no?
is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
Mira. Cuaderno. Rota el objeto, bla, 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 bla.
JHN are probably the initials of the owner of
JHN.
this notebook.
Sangre.
The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime,
Sí, sí, sí.
but it was
Tiene
dropped into the pool
sentido.
of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
Muy bien. ¿Y aquí qué tiene? Nada. ¿Y si uso la T? Nada. Nada tampoco. Ok. No sirve para todo, parece. No hay nada fuera de lo usual. No. Mesa. 2 vasos.
Someone drank from this glass recently.
Había 2 personitas.
Someone drank from
O
this
sea que lo
glass
conocía,
recently.
si estuvo bebiendo con él.
Rum, a sailor's drink.
Yo,
It seemed that Captain
yo,
Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
Mosquita. Petaca. PJ.
The
La de él.
initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
¿Y si la abrimos? Muy bien. ¿No tiene nada? ¿Por abajo? ¿Nada de nada? Entonces, ¿para qué lo abro? Para nada. Ah, amigo.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in
¿En
one
serio
picture.
esto se puede hacer? Rotemos elementos para formar una imagen mental del aroma. What?
This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and
Juro
very
que
popular
he
among
estado
sailors.
5 fucking minutos con esto. Oh my god. Espero que esto sea importante porque grito mucho, ¿ok? Grito mucho. Peter fumaba.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Los documentos privados de su marido.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Todo pasará pronto.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Cool.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young.
Eso está en
That much is
España.
evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon
A ver si es
afterwards.
verdad, porque...
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
A que sí. Eso es genial.
Thank you, madam.
Vale, ahora sabemos una cosa más. Lo pondrá por algún lado, lo pondrá, supongo. Las pruebas que puedan usarse en la investigación se marcarán con iconos específicos. Las botas, que son del 8. Otro en información nada más, supongo.
Dundee. It's a whaling map.
Somos balleneros. Otra pista, supongo.
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
A ver, se supone que estamos mirando el cuaderno, ¿no? Cuaderno. Y que le ha dejado ahí alguien que ha entrado. Digo yo. Debemos preparar una búsqueda esta noche para ver si se repite el intento de allanamiento. Ok.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Pues nada, ya está, supongo. Oh my god, esto es más difícil de lo que yo creía, ¿eh? Vamos a decirse.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Ok, gentleman. Vamos a ello. Pues sí. Por aquí. Ah. Ajá.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Estamos acechando en la cabaña de un muerto.
Shh! Did you hear that?
Sí. Un muchachuelo que va por su cuaderno.
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there.
Uy, el árbol.
Mr. Holmes?
Señor Holmes.
All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
¿Y entonces qué haces aquí?
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't.
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's
Me
just
mira
I
las
couldn't.
marcas de las
I'm
manos.
tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't. I'm not. It's a terrible mistake.
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
De nada.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Pues tomorrow morning, mañana por la mañana, le vamos a interrogar. Hola, pantalla de carga, ¿cómo está? Me voy para mi casita. Pues bueno, esto lo dejo para el próximo vídeo. La verdad, me está gustando, pero oh my god, del puzzle de la pipa y el tabaco. Madre mía. Yo no sé si es que soy torpe o qué, pero me ha puesto de los nervios. Les doy un besazo enorme y nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. Si les ha gustado, no olviden darle me gusta y comentar abajo y suscribirte para más Sherlock. Que parece que este juego es bastante largo por lo que he oído.